Okay, so tell you who I am. I grew up in poverty, and then I became a teacher. I went to school in 20 states around the country. Whenever my dad broke the law, we moved, and that happened a lot. I found out that intelligence is relative to where you live. Case in point, right? In Kansas, I was on grade level academically. I moved to Tennessee, I was 2 grade levels ahead. All I did was move. They called me the smart Yankee. They said, that Yankee smart. 2 syllables for smart. I don't know how you get a second syllable in there. That Yankee smart. I moved to Pennsylvania. I'm 2 grade levels behind. So it all kind of depends on where you're from, right? So I end up in Kansas, and I'm the art teacher in a small town. I'm all the art the kids will get, K-12. That's it. I'm that. It's a huge responsibility, by the way. You know, we broke into curriculum meetings. I met with myself. There was only one art teacher. I was the detached retina in education, you know. I had no one to talk to. The band teacher has the choir teacher. But art's important, right? In art, every kid's an artist. In band, they're all musicians. In math, they're all dying of boredom. What can they be? I had a 15-year-old in Oregon say this to me. We'll take your test. We'll do what you say. Please, God, just let it matter. It broke my freaking heart, man. They just want to do something that matters, these kids, you know? They're not bad kids. They just don't even know who they are yet. Well, those are my clients. They're tough. I call them the ones who bite. You try to help them, you know, they snarl. You know, you ever treat the meanest kid in the room like the only one you trust? Well, that's a double-edged sword. This big old kid, huge kid, he's so big he poops bigger than I am, you know. I've heard all the rumors about him. He slashed the principal's tires. He's a terrible, terrible kid. But I go the other way. I take a different tack. I say, Bill, man, it's a tough class this year. You got my back? Come again. I said, you got my back? Yeah. And they act funny. I'm like, don't you know me? You know, I just cleaned the slate for Bill, right? Bill, he's got my back, but he's got it really loud, you know? He's like, everyone shut up! Honeycutt is trying to teach. It's all you, Mr. H. I'm like, thank you, Bill. So I spend my life looking for ways to connect to kids, ways to get them back in the boat when they already fell out. You know what I mean? Ways to hook them. If I can hook them, I can cook them. But how do you do that? So I'm going to tell you a story about me, okay? I was living in Pennsylvania when I got my first guitar, and it wasn't this guitar. This is a nice guitar. It was an F-Cut K that my dad got at a yard sale for $1 with no strings attached. It had no strings attached. So I played air guitar. I had a fantasy life where I'd be like, I'm going to play guitar someday. Doom, 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 doom. It took months to get strings. Finally, at Christmas, I got my first set of strings. I don't know how to tune it, but the old man next door, he tuned it for me, and I traded him some chores for that. Now I got a tuned guitar. I got a loaded weapon, but I don't know how to use it. So I just sit in my room and I practice putting my finger on the guitar. I found that, and I thought it was cool, so I slid that. I was so proud of that, I entered a talent show. 1,700 kids in the audience, and I walk out on stage with my song. I thought I was going to win. I really did. I start in. And the kids are cool at first. They're like, oh, nice start. They don't know that's all I have, you know? A minute and a half later, they're throwing things at the stage. I'm destroyed. I'm destroyed. I thought I was good. I went home and threw it in the closet and said, never again, never. I'll never play guitar again. But I couldn't give it up. I was meant to play guitar. I know it. I just was born in the wrong trailer. Mobile homes aren't mobile once the tires go flat. Unless there's a tornado. Think about how you feel living in a dwelling that's third less safe to a ditch or low-lying area, right? Not a lot of security. But I went to the music store and fantasized about songs I would play someday. And, well, Stairway to Heaven, you know, I'm from the trailer park. You have to learn that song, right? So I look at the sheet music, but I can't read the sheet music. It might as well be Sanskrit. But I see above the music, there's these little boxes that look kind of like this. And I figured out it was the frets. And there's these circles that say 1, 2, 3. That's your fingers. I cracked the code. But I couldn't buy the music. I couldn't even afford the music. So I brought my guitar and I set it in the alley between the music store and the hardware store. And I'd go in and look at one chord at a time. So I looked at the first chord and ran out to the alley. Back in, second chord, back to the alley. Third chord, back to the alley. Fourth, the guy said, freeze! Get out of here! Why? You're stealing our music. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. You're memorizing. I was kicked out for thought lifting. That was it. I went home, taught myself guitar. It took years. I'm not good. My wife thinks I won my wife with my guitar. If that's all that ever happens, that's enough, right? But I teach kids. I teach kids guitar, and I'm not great, but I can get your kids started. See, I won't teach her a bunch of theory. I'll teach her 3 chords, and we'll start some blues. I'll teach her E, A, and B7, and she can do 1,000 songs. And then she'll tell me when she wants extra stuff. See, if I make it too hard, if I give her 10,000 scales to start, she's going to go away. So how can I hook her? Now, here's the problem. Most kids get a guitar at some point in their life, but most of them quit. Most kids quit. You know where they quit? Blisters. Most kids aren't braver than blisters. They quit when it starts to hurt, right? Think about that. I'm a guitar teacher. I can see blisters. I know when you got them, and I can soften things up. Are there cognitive blisters between kids and understanding? Kids in math, kids in language acquisition that we can't see? Are there some ways to soften the blisters? Yeah, I can set the action low and try to make it a little bit easier. But what can you do with all of this stuff that we have? I make my kid pay rent on his devices. I call it the use-lease agreement. I didn't buy it for his infotainment. What can you do with the most powerful tools in human history? See, Web 2.0 and networks and devices, they prepare a buffet of learning choices for our kids, and largely they're eating the napkins. What could they be doing, you know? Raise your hand if you made a mistake in puberty. Anyone? Anyone? I love New York, because you raise your hand. Yeah! Woo! Claim it. Claim it. Yeah. Can I Google those mistakes you made back then? See, some of them maybe, huh? And most of them are not Googleable, right? We lived in a different world. You could make mistakes. It took like a week to ruin your life. You had to work at it. Raise your hand if you think with one click a person can alter the course of their life. Of course, that's what we're here about, right? For good or bad, right? I expect my kid to pee in the pool. He's going to do it. I blew it. He's going to blow it. I just want to make sure I'm there beside him. You know, not throwing him out there to a world I don't even understand. And educators can't do that. And here's the problem. Kids come to us with devices. By the way, this is my little case. I can get away with texting on the phone a little bit longer on the plane because they think I'm reading a little Bible, you know. I know, it's so wrong. In the beginning. So I got to pay attention to what my kid does. I got to be where he is. I can't amputate his digital limbs when he comes to school. Raise your hand if it's true that if you lost your device or mobile phone, you would lose utterly important information. Raise your hand if it made you nervous to think about it. Then your brain has done an interesting thing. Your neocortex used to warehouse everything you knew. How many phone numbers do you know now? We have outsourced the warehousing of data to devices and networks in the cloud. We can't amputate kids' digital limbs. They're going to spend the rest of their lives either succeeding or failing by their use of these things. We can't take them at the door. And there's brave schools all over the world with bring your own device policies. They are doing things right now. Well, they are suspect because they're trying it first. The leading edge is a bleeding edge. I love those crazy pioneers. Thank God for the educational pioneers. You know, when Americans went west, the scouts went first. And they went over the next hill, and they looked for dangers and opportunities, and they came back, and they told the wagon train. So we need scouts. We need educational scouts. And you've got those crazy teachers. They're usually in trouble, right? I love the crazy teachers. There's the ones I really connected with. The three-fingered shop teacher talking about bandsaw safety. He knows from whence he speaks, you know? I always run into one of those guys when I'm talking about this stuff. I have a group of ladies who I talk with twice a year called the Digital Grannies. They called me. They said, we want to learn Twitter and Facebook. I said, why? We want to mentor our grandkids without embarrassing them. Isn't that sweet? They're doing this for free. I do this for free. The room smells like learning, excitement, anticipation, and Bengay. So I'm looking at my phone, and I'm talking to my kid, and I'm saying, son, I want you to show me something that you can do with the phone. And I looked at the phone the way I looked at the guitar when I first got the guitar. And I look at apps on the iPhone when it first came out to see if any of them were actually anything real or if they were just kind of fun things to play around with. So one of the first apps I found that I really liked was called Pocket Guitar. Pocket Guitar is cool because it turns your phone into the fretboard of a guitar, but you have to know chords. You can't cheat. Raise your hand if you play with Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero. Raise your hand if your kids do that. Yeah? Yeah, I love it because it's getting our kids to like the hair bands of the 80s, and that's cool, right? But if your daughter is great at Guitar Hero and I hand her a real guitar, can she play it? So it's not quite there, right? There's got to be a bridge in between. And to me, Pocket Guitar was the first app I saw that looked like a guitar. In fact, you just sort of strum it, and you have to know chords. Let's do some chords. We both lie close together in the still of the night. I'm in town all week. Tip your waitress. Although we both lie close together, we feel miles apart inside. The accelerometer is a whammy bar. Are you kidding me? The worst part is I can't feel the strings. The best part is I can't feel the strings. Oh my gosh, no blisters, right? Right? A little different, maybe a little different way to think. I want to show you one more app on here. And by the way, I collect these apps and I share with people the ones that I like. This is called Harmonica. Yes, what does it do? It's a harmonica for $1.99. Turns my phone into a harmonica. Don't let just anyone do this to your device. Oh my gosh, I got to show you this one. This one so rocks. It's called iShred. Works on the iPad, the iPod, and the iPhone. Basically, it's just chords. I'm stealing that sound. I'm teaching kids this, right? Your daughter's never played guitar. She gave up, and I teach her. You're going to go A, 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 D, D, G, 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom. The idea, right? I want to take that one more place, okay? So the screen's too small for a guy like me. I'm getting old here. So I go and buy the iPad because I need the bigger screen. But it doesn't feel like rock and roll, so I go buy a Paper Jams guitar from Walmart. Velcro, Velcro. Nerds get to rock. Woo! Okay, so I'm still teaching. I don't want to fake it. I don't want your daughter to not really know something. So I want to teach her chords, right? So with GarageBand, $4.99, right? It's got pianos, it's got drums, it's got all this stuff. I'm still teaching basic stuff. I'm from Kansas. I'm going to do Garth Brooks. You're going to have to forgive me. Looking back on the memory the dance we shared beneath the stars above. What do you think? Kind of cool, sort of cool? Purists get mad. It's not a guitar. It's an aberration. Purists got mad when the electric guitar was invented. Jimi Hendrix came along and sort of made him look foolish, right? This is the instrument of our time. Are our kids going to play with it? Are we going to challenge them to do amazing things with it? You know, are they just going to sort of spend their time playing? I want to show you one more thing. I'm going to jump over to hard rock guitar. Just chords. Now I'm going to flip this thing over and go to a song that's pre-recorded. This is Kid Rock, by the way, and he's doing a song called All Summer Long. Basically stole Real Rose of London in Sweet Home Alabama, right? Okay, but I'm going to do a little chord progression here. So I teach your daughter anything within these two lines is safe. Now play here. Huh? Alrighty. So I go into places. Guys, you say $499. Well, I don't know. I'm a school board member, second term, and we just went one-to-one iPads with our high school this year. We're a small school. $499 versus the $799 price of the PCs we used to buy. They spec out actually cheaper, but we're doing our textbooks on these. We're doing language acquisition apps. You know, there's a new app born every minute, and every one of them changes everything. What an exciting time to be in education. Almost anything is possible. I don't have to tell kids they can't, you know? And yeah, they seem expensive, but $499, really. And they break once in a while, and people gather around them like a dead unicorn. It's a thing. They break. Get ready for it. They break. What I care about is what we can do because we have these things. I mean, let's say your daughter, she can't play anything. She can't even carry a tune. She's a sweetheart, but she doesn't have a whole lot of talents going for her here. So, but at least, well, okay, she's not tone deaf, so I can actually take her voice and turn it into an instrument with an app called Voice Band. I can turn her, if she's on pitch, she can hum her song. Wow. I was from the trailer park. All I ever wanted was a chance. I don't want you to give me anything. I just want an equal chance. You know what I mean? If I'm a songwriter, give me a way to write a song. If I'm an artist, give me a way to be an artist. Well, it's here now. The world is flat now with all of this. What will we do about that? I want to see if I can get Gio to come out here. Is he around? Give him a round of applause and get him to come up here. Woohoo! My man. As soon as I met Gio, I loved him. He's one of those guys you just sort of love on sight. But I knew I wanted to bring him up as a volunteer. I go into communities and I try to show them what we could be doing, what we should be doing by making this fun. Is it okay that learning's fun? Is that okay? Shouldn't it be? It's all my... Give it up for my guy right here. Give it up. How many times have you played drums on the iPad on stage?
I've never played drums off the iPad.
Yeah! I'm going to give you a blues. I'm going to do a blues riff in E. Watch me for the changes and try to keep up. Here we go. And here's the idea. All this stuff is possible. It doesn't have to be hard. We can make it fun. We can mix old and new together. Old and new together. This is my Yoda right here. Thanks, guys and girls. Thank you. Thank you so much.